Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Blast from the Past Reviews. Today, we're not talking about a movie. It's just life has gotten in the way, and I want to properly prepare before we dive into.
Sorry, that was a hiccup. Sorry.
that thing sounded accusatory. Well, off to a strong start.
Woo.
But yeah, want to make sure I give you guys a good analysis when we talk about something. So decided we'll push that off to next week. Life just got in the way. But either way, we're gonna come out have you. Yeah, man, I'm on it too now.
See,
we're gonna have some. I don't think it's you. I think it's my poor sleep schedule and working a lot. But either way, I got a list of things here that we can talk about. Wanted to talk about modern movies that don't suck. Essentially, there's only a few of them there. That was movies and TV shows, and I racked my brain for a good
I found 4
minutes. Yeah, some of these are a bit of a stretch. Like some of the ones I wrote down are a little bit older. Actually, no, I kept mostly new for these ones. But a lot of them I was thinking of, I was like, oh, that came out in 2013. That doesn't really count. It's
oh
yeah,
wow. That's crazy.
like
2013 is too long ago.
That's 9 years.
I'm so old.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. I think of 2013 as not that long ago. It's like, oh, that's when I bought my house. Like it can't have been. Oh crap, I've been here 9 years. Oh, yeah. But yeah, just modern movies or TV shows that don't suck. I feel like TV shows have been a bit stronger lately.
A little bit, yes.
Mm-hmm. But wanted to go through some comments here. We got a few popping off already. I did want to point this out. My buddy Ords, you can see me Sundays on his Sunday morning podcast at 12 o'clock Eastern, which is kind of morning. It's morning where he is. But he just got an affiliate link for Coffee Brand Coffee. So go to his Twitter and click that, or I provided the link right there at the top of the comments. So yeah, if you're thinking about trying some new coffee, check him out. And he's not cutting me in on the deal or anything. I just want to help out my buddy Ords. So feel free to do that. And first in the chat was Robert Lowry.
Whoop. First.
Yeah. Shortly followed by Small Time Republic.
Hey, Small Time Republic.
Oh, and Firefox, I'm about to do a thing. I'm about to do many things. And hey, there you are.
There I am.
And Duck Dangerously, both on screen when stream starts. What is happening?
Aren't we usually?
Not if we're doing a proper movie review. We got the
true.
The intro. Yes. Robert laughing at us already? I think he's laughing at you, and then you tripping up. Yeah.
Probably.
That's what I've been meaning to watch.
I haven't seen that one, but I heard that it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to tell us about it, Fire. You'll have to tell us about it.
Yes. So The Northman. I should write that down because I've been meaning to watch that one. Yeah, I've seen a couple other movies by the same director, and I did like the other ones I saw. The Witch, and I think he also did The Lighthouse, which I wasn't super big on. It's a little bit too artsy for me, but there was really good acting and dialogue in The Lighthouse. I just wasn't super big on it. Yes, representing with the hoodie. Good old Washington Redskins. That is all I will ever call them. I haven't even paid attention to football in 10 years now, but I grew up a Redskins fan, so I still rep for them. You don't watch football or anything, do you? No. Even in Texas, which is that's their thing. It is
football central. Everybody plays football. I don't fit in.
Yeah. It's really big here in Georgia too, especially college football. Mm-hmm. Huge in Georgia. And yeah, I I like it, not that much. Let's see. I did actually notice that rocking the. I wouldn't say those
They
are
keep
80s
my
homeless
hands
cuts.
warm, but my fingers are free. My mom knits these for me. I have like 3 pairs.
That's cool.
Yeah. I used to work
Homemade
McDonald's
gloves.
drive-through, and like in the winter, okay, they have a heater, but you're open and closing that dang window all the time. And when I was working cash in the back, I was allowed to wear these, and it saved my hands.
Mm.
Saved my hands.
I do just the regular knit fingerless
Yeah.
gloves, like the normal fit your hand
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ones. Uh, those do look. I think he hits it on the nose though. Those are both 80s, and you do look like you could be homeless with those gloves. Like
Let's call it grunge, okay?
I don't know. That's like I got me fingerless gloves in a pocket full of dreams. Like you look like you could be hopping trains.
Maybe I am.
Okay, I'll quick ADD moment, and then we'll keep moving on. I can't remember the name of the channel, but I saw this one. I got super into it for like a month. But this dude actually does like illegal train hopping in Europe, where he'll like cross
Wow.
borders. Yeah,
And he like records himself doing it.
yeah. He always wears a mask.
Wow.
Yep.
I kind of want to look this up now.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I can't remember the name exactly of it, but it's like European train hopping. It's like illegal
Whoa.
traveling or something like that, or I can't remember
And he hasn't
unauthorized
got banned
travel.
from YouTube?
No, nope.
Huh.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, we are going to ride a train into Chechnya today. And it's like,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
And then he rides a train back?
Yeah. He'll like ride the train and go to like an abandoned factory or something like that and spend the night there and then hop to a different place. And yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Alrighty then.
Yeah. Jeremy Hambley shill. Very nice. Yes. I also want to try Krigler coffee. I don't know if you've tried
Mm.
either of those yet.
No, I haven't. I haven't tried any of the like. Yeah, I haven't tried Geek Grind. I haven't. I drink Black Rifle coffee because I can get that at like HEB or Walmart. That's the coffee I drink.
I heard about HEB today, and I was watching some videos just talking about stuff in Texas, and I won't lie, those videos of HEB made it look like a really nice store.
They can be, especially if it's an HEB plus.
That's what they
Mm-hmm.
said. So they're like, then it's a gas station too.
Yeah. Think like Walmart with a grocery store, etc., but way better. Way better.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
See, we have Buc-ee's here, and
Like the
so
gas. Wait.
it's like a super gas station. It is
We
a
have
gas
those here
station.
too.
Yeah, they're amazing. It's
Mm-hmm.
gas station, country store, barbecue stand, bakery, like
Yep.
the clothing section of a Bass Pro Shop,
Mm-hmm,
all in
mm-hmm.
one.
I
And
haven't
they sell
actually been to
cigarettes.
one, but like people make videos of going to Buc-ee's.
If you happen
So
to
I
be
feel like
on
I've been
like,
there.
you should go there. Like you gotta be in one and experience it. It's I don't know why, but it's a gas station that I enjoy going to. Like it, I
They're
wouldn't go out
huge.
of my way to get to one. Like wouldn't drive 30 minutes to get to one. But if you happen to be passing a Buc-ee's, check it out.
There's literally one like in my town and I've just never been.
Oh, you should go. They also tend to have really good gas prices. They're usually, I mean, not
Hmm.
like ridiculous, but a couple cents less than what the average in the area is.
Yeah. Okay then.
Yeah, they're definitely worth a trip. Let's see. Northman is intense, not for kids. Um, okay, Duck Dangerously brings up a good question here. Is 2017 modern enough? And I was actually thinking that was probably a good sort of cutoff point for where to
Okay.
consider the big shift in film and TV. I was trying to think about, like, I think the last year that we got quite a few good movies was probably 2016. Got
Mm.
quite a few good ones. Because I want to say that's around when, like, Endgame and it was, I can't remember if it was Endgame or the one before it came out.
Okay,
Um,
yep.
I think 2014 was the last year that for me that like multiple movies that I really enjoyed came out. Mostly like Mad Max, Fury Road, which has its problems, but I really liked. Ghost in the Shell was good. There were a couple others. But I do feel like as far as when the major shift in movies happened and they really, really began focusing on the message, either 2016 or 2017 is probably when it really switched.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm sure someone could come up for a compelling argument for a different time, but that was just my gut feeling on it. Firefox says, I give it a solid 7.8 out of 10, maybe even an 8.2. The ending I thought was perfect for a traditional Norse mythos like Beowulf or ancient Norse studies. Okay, this isn't the point you're trying to get across, Firefox, but I'm just going to bring this up now because I can. Another slight ADD moment. Sorry, everybody. I don't like the out of 10 scale, particularly when it becomes the points out of it. Like, why aren't you using a 100? I kind of don't like it. Plus, you don't know if somebody is legitimately using a 1 through 10 as 1 being a bad film and 10 being a good film, or if they consider like a 5 out of 10 to be a really bad score because they treat it like a school grade. I don't like it.
Well, we all know how Steven feels now.
I actually feel very strongly about this. That's why I do out of 5. Nobody gets confused on out of 5.
Oh my goodness.
I've thought about this a bit. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry for the short rant. Not blaming you, Firefox. I know that's how it commonly goes. It's something I think about when I'm high in the middle of the night. Let's see. Make sure you are wide awake for the Northmen. Intense. Hi, we got a Phil.
Hi, Phil.
Hey, Phil. And a Heron. Hi,
Heron. I miss Heron.
Yes. College football. Oh, yeah. Lots of college football.
Well, Hassan is here.
Oh, Hassan. I need to scroll down. There's people.
And you're Barmy?
Hey, you're Barmy.
Thank you, Heron. Yes, my Gandalf gloves. That'll do.
You know what? Yes.
I have a chip.
Gandalf the Grey gloves. Let's see. Firefox saying he hears great things about Adam's coffee. I was actually thinking about doing like a fellowship coffee review. Kind of get like Geek Grind, Coffee Brand Coffee, Craigler Coffee, and
that'd be so cool.
Taste test. Yeah.
And then rate them on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes. I'll do a 1 to 10 using the point system. Yes. I think that's when we were talking about Buc-ee's. Robert stopped at 1 on the way back from Orlando. Me too. There were people who actually like said they knew around roundabout where I live because there's a Buc-ee's not far. Yeah, they're just like, oh, that's where the Buc-ee's is. I'm like, yeah, there's actually a few things there, but yes, there's a Buc-ee's. Let's see. If so, 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. It was really good, and it was 2017. Let's see. 2017 also had Blade Runner 2049. I actually haven't watched that yet, even though I think the original Blade Runner is one of the greatest movies ever made.
I think I've seen Blade Runner. My issue with movies is like I watch them and then I forget. I cannot keep it in my mind. Movies, TV shows, they don't stick. Wow. Fire's got the whole scale for you right down there.
Oh, I see that. We will get to that very soon. I'm catching up to the end of the chat. Yes, Hassan. Hello, Hassan. And I have heard about 1917. I haven't seen it either. The Drinker also recently recommended the new version of All Quiet on the Western Front, which I'm thinking about giving a try. I actually think that either historical military movies or military thrillers are kind of doing the best right now in my opinion.
Hmm.
In fact, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3 of the ones on my list are either military thriller or just a military film. So let's see. Small Time gives me a 4.3 out of 10 on that take. Thank you.
Wow.
Also, you already mentioned this, but yes, welcome, your Balmy. And I think Dread's a little bit too far away. That's a little bit too far to still be considered a modern film. That's 10 years.
We're all so old.
Yeah. And think about like when we were kids, classic rock was like late 70s.
Yeah.
So we're talking 15 or less years away from when we were a kid was already considered classic rock. Queen was classic rock when I was a kid, and they were making music all the way up into the 90s. Let's see. You know, if Megan cosplays as a gray Jedi, I can see the gloves being a potential nice addition. Yes. All right, so here's the whole list. 1 is abysmal, 2 horrible, 3 awful, 5 is bad, 6 is average, 7 is fine, 8 is fine, 9 is very good, and 10 is great. Oh, sorry, I think I was reading them backwards. So 8 very good, 9 is great, 10 is excellent, essentially no flaws. Okay.
6 and 7 are both fine. Abysmal, horrible, awful, bad, average, fine. Fine? 6 and 7 are both fine? They're both the same.
Yeah.
Fire. What did you do?
You should have a good in there. Say, 6 is fine, 7 is good.
Yeah. 8 is very good. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Fixed it.
See, this is why I like the out of 5 scale. I can never remember where the center of the camera is.
Like, I know.
It's actually off to the side a little bit because I try to put it dead center. Either way, that's why I like the out of 5 scale because that out of 5, 3 right in the middle, average. 2, not below average. 4 above average, excellent, bad. So that's why I like out of 5. Nice and simple.
Oh, he corrected it up there. He says 7 is good. I get it.
Okay, 7 is good. And
Achilles Jones.
Thank you for joining us. Let's see. 2017 had part 1, which I did like It Part 1, didn't like It Part 2, but it was good.
Part 2 was...
Yeah. Part 1 was good.
Not that I liked it, because, but I watched them.
Wait, was that like a double up for you? Do you also not like clowns?
Yeah, I don't like clowns now.
Oh, so that's, you don't like scary movies or clowns?
Especially, like, scary clowns. It's like it's
a triple threat.
Yeah, it's bad. It was like literally was like under my blanket most of that movie.
Nice. Well, I saw both of those in theaters actually, and I definitely liked the first one. The second one had a couple of moments, but overall, just wasn't my thing. I hear the book's really screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember reading through it and was like, no.
I bought it not too long ago. I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, though.
It's really not worth it.
What about the 5-star scale when they give half stars? Okay, that defeats the purpose of the 5-star scale. Okay, if you were asking my opinion on it, defeats the purpose. Solid numbers. I don't need an exact 0 to 100 of your particular thoughts on the film. I want to know if I should watch it or if I should not watch it, because everyone's going to have some slight deviations based on their personal opinion. So that's part of the reason why I like the out of 5. Someone tells me it's a 4 out of 5, I know that's going to be a damn good movie and worth my time.
Okay, then. No half stars for Steven.
No, nope. Defeats the purpose. If you're using half stars, why aren't you using out of 10?
Wow.
Instead of 3.5, it just becomes a 7.
Oh, man.
I also like whole numbers, so...
There's that.
Mm-hmm. And also, if people are using points, why don't they just like throw in fractions as well? I give it a 7 5/8.
Oh my gosh.
And then we have no rules, and society collapses around us. And now the Buc-ee's is on fire. And where am I going to get the beaver nuggets?
Wow, you guys, you're making Steven lose his mind right now.
Pretty sure I lost it a while ago. Let's see. If you dislike clowns, then it's a wonder how lucky I am to be on speaking terms with her.
We just don't talk about certain things, Phil, and it's fine.
That's true. That's true. Like certain condiments that don't go with other things. He said accusatorily.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, movies and modern movies in particular. We have an actual subject. Sorry. Saying hi to everybody. I went off on a tangent about 5 stars. All right, there's one more. Got to bring up. Firefox is bringing this still up. We're stretching it out just a little longer. Let's see. He is the other way around. Out of 5 gives too much room for variance. If someone gives it a 4, that means it's closer to an 8 or 9. Or do you feel it is just better than a meh score of a 3? 3, I think of as an average movie. You'll probably enjoy it, might not see it again. For instance, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I would give a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed seeing it. I enjoyed the theater experience. It didn't feel like I got gypped. I have not gone out of my way to watch it again.
Well, Dan. Oh boy. Okay.
I also don't mind being critical of movies or TV shows, so maybe that's why the out of 5 works for me, because I don't mind giving a movie a 2 if I didn't like it. Let's see. Pineapple on pizza were made for each other, Phil, okay? They were specifically created in a lab by Italians and Hawaiians, respectively, and they were designed to go together.
I like Heron's comment underneath. It sounds like she has she's in confession.
Uh-oh. Ketchup on cold pizza. It's okay, but I feel like I was doing something wrong. That was wrong. That was
very
Aaron.
wrong.
I'm sorry. We will have to admonish you mildly, but forgiveness is achievable. Don't worry. Just put some pineapple on pizza, and I will forgive you.
Oh man.
But yeah, the topic. We'll get to that right at the top of the list. Let me share because I brought up a picture somewhere. I have. There we go. You know what? I'll just share the whole screen. Make it nice and easy.
Yeah.
I have a reasonable number of tabs open this time. Yes, Top Gun Maverick, I felt like was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I can't remember if I already ordered on Blu-ray. I forgot to pre-order it. But I enjoyed the heck out of it. Did you see it?
I did. This was actually the first movie I saw in theaters for in 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 years. This is the first movie I'd actually gone to see in theaters in about 4 years. Because I was like, you know what? I've heard so many good things about this. And I used to love going to the movie theater. I used to love that whole experience, right? Not that I got to do it very often, but I used to love it. And then you enjoyed the movie. But there just been so many movies out that it just didn't feel worth it to spend the money to go to the theater. But so many people said this was worth it that I went, I'm going to go watch it at the movie theater. And I took myself, all by my little self, I went on a Monday afternoon. I took myself to the movies and I watched this and it was awesome. And I stayed and watched the credits and everything. But halfway through the credits, they turned the lights on. They were trying to clean. And I was like, oh, I guess I have to leave. Okay.
Dang, it got you that deep in the theater experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I it hadn't been that long since I had seen a movie in theaters, but it had been a while since I had like a good, really solid. I enjoyed the heck out of the movie theater experience because it was kind of lockdowns and theaters weren't the worst, but I didn't feel like putting on a mask or doing any of the other stuff. And plus, you had everything was more expensive because they were trying to do like social distance seating for way longer than that was required in our area in the first place. So, like, we had 6 weeks. That's all we had in the state of Georgia that you had to follow like health code guidelines. Everything after that was the corporations doing it. So
Yeah.
the bigger the company, the more you had to deal with.
Yeah. Texas was around the same. Yeah.
Yep. And so yeah, I saw nothing for like 2 years, and then Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then this a few months later. And this gave me the proper feel good theater experience that I felt like something had like impacted me while I was in there. And it felt worth it, even though it was really expensive still, just compared to I used to go to movies all the time when I was a teenager. Like there was a movie theater within walking distance of my house, and we would we had a system set up to where we could get like 5 to 6 people in the theater on 2 tickets. So we would pool our money together. The initial 2 people would go and buy 2 tickets. We would walk inside the theater. One person would walk out with both stubs, and then you go in separately and rinse and repeat until everybody gets inside. And we did that repeatedly as teenagers. Like,
that's so sneaky.
yeah.
I only ever went into one movie and instead of leaving, just walked into like an adjoining theater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did that.
Yep. I actually never did that. I never did the skip from one to the other, but we would definitely cheat the system. But man, we went all the time, all throughout my teen years. They also stopped caring about IDing people at a certain point in time. So they might have also known me that regularly I would have my mom like go up there and buy me an R-rated ticket because she stopped caring when I was like 12, 13. So but yeah, Top Gun Maverick, I don't think it was as good as the original.
No.
But it was still good.
But it still stood up to the original, and I felt like they did a really good job in the continuation of this character's storylines. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It like compared to like it's so sad that now I don't know, like would it be as good to us if we saw Top Gun Maverick like back when all movies were good? Do you know what I'm saying? Would it have been as good? Or is it good just because there's not a lot of good stuff out there? That's my only issue with things that I think are good. I'm like, why do I think this is good?
Maybe a bit of both. I think that we would still think it was a good movie, but we wouldn't hold it as high on a pedestal as we do currently because it bucked the trends so hard compared to other movies that it completely left out, the message.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So I think it's still good. And it would be good if it came out, 7, 8 years ago. Not as highly revered as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it was good, even though it is kind of just Star Wars: A New Hope when you think about it.
Oh.
The mission is the same as destroying the Death Star in Star Wars: A New Hope.
I did not get that.
Yep. Yep. Instead of flying in I can't remember what it was, whatever the ravine was in the Death Star, you're flying down the ravine. It's a very small target.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you get it or you don't.
Yep.
There's what? How did I miss that? Well then.
Slightly extended ending though. I'll say. There were a couple of clear nostalgia bait moments in it that I did not like. I'll say. But in particular, the one that I didn't like was when Goose is sitting as the real, or not Goose, but Rooster, Goose's son, is riding as the real, and they're in the old what was it, the Tomcat?
Oh, okay.
And he says, "Talk to me, Maverick. Do some of that pilot stuff," which are just lines directly from the first movie.
Oh.
I didn't like that. Oh, good point there, Duck Dangerously. No shirtless football scenes in A New Hope.
That
It
is
needed
true.
to have a shirtless sports scene on the beach, though.
It did.
Yep.
It did.
Yeah, did you have anything else to add on Maverick?
No, but I did notice that Fire says it gets a 8.45681 out of 11. Fire's gonna do this all night.
Just want you to know, Fire, that I'm slowly dying on the inside. My
I
will
feel
to
like he's
live
happy to
leaves me
hear
every time you do this, Fire.
Man.
But I believe up next was... Oh, nope, I got a proper image. There we go. That was one you
Yeah.
had brought up.
I like binge watched the first 4 seasons when somebody told me I had to see it. I binge watched the first 4 seasons in like, I don't know, I think I got it done in a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Just binging. Hardcore binging on this show.
Mm.
Which means I don't remember like hardly anything of it. I just know I really liked it, and there's not many shows on Netflix that I actually like beyond the first season.
Mm.
For real.
Netflix and Amazon can get pretty bad with that. Both of them will have a solid first season, and it kind of falls apart afterwards.
Yep.
This one definitely didn't do that, though.
No.
I was even worried because I watched it when it first came out. A buddy of mine recommended it to me, like literally within a week of it coming out. And yeah, I binged through the whole first season as well. I haven't caught up though yet. I'm 2 seasons behind now.
I'm a season behind. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that's part of the problem with being able to binge a show is it's so easy to do and you enjoy it while you're in it, but you don't have time to digest everything.
Yeah, you don't like process it or anything. It all just kind of like melts together in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of gets mushy in there. Yeah.
I actually try to stay away from binging shows, at least binging them too hard. No, even if
I have
there's
no
like a lot of
self-control,
it.
so no self-control whatsoever.
Yeah,
but I really like that this
sometimes.
one has so many young people in it. It's got a lot of young people who could be pushing if they wanted to for certain topics to be
Mm-hmm.
brought up within the show. And it doesn't seem like the writers, the actors, nobody's really pushing any sort of real agenda. Or, you know? And I just kept every season I watched, I just kind of kept going, okay. Is the second season gonna be good? Oh, it was good. Okay. Season 3 then it's gonna hit it. Season 3. Oh, what? Season 4. Okay. And now season 5 is out. I need to watch it.
They even make fun of modern politics in the show quite frequently. Mostly in season 1, and it's tapered off a little bit, but even in season 3, because I was worried about when they made the switch from YouTube to Netflix. I was worried that was gonna happen because it's Netflix. You never know. It's about a coin toss. Nothing is just okay at Netflix. It's either, wow, this is such an amazing, really good show, and you should watch it, or don't bother. But it stayed good, and even season 3 makes fun of some of the modern politics in there. It was the scene where Hawk he uses the trigger words and the buzzwords to his advantage to get away with bullying the kid.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Duck Dangerously is saying there are some Wokies in the cast. You just need to check Twitter or their Instagrams. But it doesn't come through on the show.
Yeah. Like, whatever. You can have your personal beliefs. I really don't care. But, like, you're an actor. You're not a politician. You're just an actor. You're an entertainer. You're not anybody super special. to some people, you're really like actors are influential, but I really don't think they should be, and they're not as influential as they think. Really, to at least the anyway, that's a whole deal. But like, you're just here to entertain. You're just here to act. These are your lines. This is your character. Tell the story. That's your job, and that's what you should do. And you can have your own little ideas of whatever, and I don't care. Tell the story and tell
Mm-hmm.
it good. That's what I care about.
I can agree with you on that. Kind of separate the art from the artist, and
Mm-hmm.
you're also not taking the opinion that comes up a lot that I'm kind of against personally. I think that actors should be allowed to voice their personal opinions, even though I disagree with it. But you're kind of taking the opinion that they can have their
Mm-hmm.
own opinions. They can even
And
voice them, just
yeah,
leave it out of the product.
yeah.
Mhm. And I think the problem is really with the modern iteration of politics. There's nothing wrong with having a moral lesson in a
Mm-hmm.
show or a movie. In fact, they tend to be better if there is some sort of moral lesson, but it helps if it's a universally accepted ethical question, or
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be universally accepted, and you can put forth multiple sides of it, but it's modern morality has its own brand of ethics that kind of it kind of issues or not issues but it leaves behind common sense a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
The like being nice to people of all shapes and sizes. Not everybody who is overweight is intentionally trying to be overweight, but going so far as to say if you aren't attracted to somebody who is overweight, if that's not your thing, you're now a bigot,
Yeah.
kind of takes
Yep.
it too far in my opinion.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Whereas you shouldn't be bigoted towards people who are dealing with issues or based off of certain characteristics. Would be a good moral lesson to have in a show. I mean, it's been done a million times, but it's usually pretty good.
Exactly.
uh Anything else to add for Cobra Kai?
I don't think so. I wish I was watching the 5th season. I feel like I'd have more to say.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll say it really hits a solid spread of what it brings to the table. Of you have some action with the fight scenes, but they're not egregious.
mm-hmm.
Johnny is a flawed, he's a flawed hero of the story. Definitely, particularly in season 1, has his blinders up and has his own opinion of what occurred in the events of the first movie in particular. But he's still trying to do the best thing to move forward in his life and be mentors to these young kids and give them someone to look up to,
Yeah.
while not being like a perfect person. He has his issues. They come to bite him in the ass. People call him out on it.
I like that he's like this flawed character. And part of me is afraid that like I understand he needs a character arc where he like grows as a character, whatever, right? But like I think part of me is worried that season 5 they're gonna just like change him so much that it's gonna be completely out of character. That's a worry I have for season 5. I don't know why, but I just have that worry. No spoilers if you've seen it, guys.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so you're safe for me. That is always a concern with modern shows because I've been bitten in the ass in subsequent season from several shows. I'll say Netflix has already had 2 seasons worth of opportunity that you said were both good to mess it up. So,
Mm-hmm.
because they only did the first 2 on YouTube, and it's the same exact team who's
Yeah.
been writing it and running it the whole time. So, I think it moving forward, at least everything I've heard from like the YouTube community and the very brief mentions of it, I've heard that people are enjoying it. So at least somewhat of a good sign.
Yeah, Shellback is here.
Hey Shellback, how's it going, buddy? Got to Yeah, you came in right at the end of last week, but let everybody know, definitely got to meet Shellback in person finally. You know, we did some streaming together for a while. We got to meet him in person down in Orlando, so good seeing you. But yes, I just pulled one up because we got into the whole moral discussion, having moral lessons in shows, and I recently just started watching third season of The Orville: New Horizons.
I have never seen this.
Oh, really? It's okay. You've got to get through the first couple of episodes because it's much more Seth MacFarlane humor, parody humor for the first few episodes. But it started off as Star Trek parody, and eventually they just realized that people were craving good Star Trek, and that's what the fans really wanted. And they basically gave the fans what they wanted while still making a really good product. It's pretty much become the new version of Star Trek that doesn't suck.
Wow.
Yep.
Impressive. Maybe I need to.
Do you like Star Trek? Particularly like
I
Next
haven't
Generation?
watched Star Trek. I need to start at the beginning. Yeah.
I
don't know where to start. There's so many Star Treks, you know what I'm saying?
I would personally suggest starting with Next Generation. That,
Okay.
in my opinion, is the best. Now, Old Trek is good. The original, with Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, that is good, but it's also definitely a product of its time,
Right.
and hasn't aged quite as strongly as the subsequent shows, in my opinion.
So, New Generation?
Next Generation. That's where I would. That's where I started. I agree with Firefox here. Deep Space Nine is also good, but it takes place after Next Generation, so watch all of that first. And that's if you're liking it. Personally, I think just about anybody should start with season 1, episode 1, which is technically the pilot for Next Generation. Encounter at Farpoint. It's an amazing episode that got me hooked immediately. So that was me personally. And it's pretty much just gets better throughout up until season 7, which has a handful of rocky episodes, but overall is pretty good, and then ends on a really strong point. It is a big, huge steak dinner of a show, though. It is a porterhouse with mashed potatoes and mac and cheese, and there's no greens. It is a very hefty meal. There's 7 seasons with 24 episodes per season, and they're 45 minutes each, but they're pretty much all great episodes the whole way through. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Orville. That came out in 1987. That's not modern. But yeah, the Orville has basically become modern Star Trek. And I have watched 1 episode of the latest season so far. I'm way behind on it, but finally figured out my definitely not a friend of the family's Hulu login.
Wow.
So I can finally watch it now. But the first episode, very strong moral lesson right at the beginning. For the first one, they actually tackled the subject of suicide, which is usually a very iffy subject, particularly on network TV. So they might have not been able to get away with that on Fox, but since they moved to Hulu, they can get to a bit touchier subjects. And I mean, right away, they're digging in with a deep moral story with heavy drama to it, a little bit of action, but really just a dramatic tale with a strong moral lesson, and I loved it.
Oh, Zombie Box Reviews is here.
Hey, Zombie Box Reviews. Thank you for stopping by and boosting the algorithm.
Yeah.
I do that quite often myself.
I do that too. I can't watch a lot of people's streams, especially all the way through. So I just jump in, leave a comment, leave a like. Yeah.
I will I'll also I'll do the lurk in the background where I'll just mute it and open up a new window or put it on in the background.
Get those so they can get those watch hours.
Exactly.
Yepers.
And had a couple of these are all quotes from Next Gen. Was "Shut Up, Wesley" was a regular that happened a lot. Wesley is the Mary Sue of Next Generation. Hate to say it, they have a Mary Sue. That's it. Yep, there are 4 lights. Cannot remember the name of that episode, but an excellent one with David Warner. Rest in peace. He died recently. Excellent actor, underrated actor in my opinion, as the Cardassian torturer who's torturing the captain. And yes, Deep Space Nine, Dominion War era, but we're talking about the Orville. So you haven't seen it yet.
Stuck on Deep Space Nine.
It's actually a really good show. People kind of crapped on it when it first came out, unfortunately, because they wanted more of what Next Generation gave, and they were trying to do something different. So Next Generation is just a procedural drama in space, whereas Deep Space Nine is a soap opera in space.
Ah, gotcha.
But both are very good. I look like a lurker. I bet I do in this lighting. Yep. Listening to streams while cooking dinner or just chores in general.
Yeah,
yes.
just doing house chores. Yep, 100%.
Or driving. That's one I do. I've been doing audiobooks while driving recently. I decided to give it a try.
How'd you like that? I've always grown up like reading the actual book. I don't know if I'd like it.
I'm a physical book kind of guy too. Like I even brought one here for, I mean, if we get to it, one of my other recommendations of a good modern show. I bought the book, haven't read it yet, but Terminal List we might get to that this evening. So that'll be a quick recommend. Watch Terminal List if you haven't seen it. But I actually liked the audiobook while driving. It was nice because it's sometimes hard, particularly if you get busy, to actually sit down and have a good amount of time to read the book, where it's not like I read right before bed, trying to get through like 30 or 40, maybe even 50 pages before I go to bed and wind up reading like 10 and falling asleep.
Yeah.
So driving worked out pretty well. Actually listened to Prince Caspian from the Narnia series, because I've been wanting to watch the movie, but I haven't read it since I was a kid, and I wanted to read the book before I watched the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually pretty nice. Took me about a week just driving back and forth from work. It is also a shorter book.
It is a shorter book, yeah.
But I hear there's some good ones out there. I got my mom listening to the Dresden Files on Audible. I read those books, but yeah. I think it was James Marsters, the guy who played Spike in Buffy. He does the voice acting for it, and she says he does a really good job. So, like listening to audiobook after you've read the physical copy.
Oh, wow.
I normally don't reread books, but I could see if it was one you really enjoyed, or maybe something that had a very deep world to it, that you might want to do that.
I love rereading books. I have books that I read as a kid, and I've read them 5 times as a kid, and I read them a couple times more as an adult. I just read them over and over again. I think it's like a nostalgia comfort thing,
I can't say anything. I do that with movies. There's movies out there I've literally watched 100 or more times, like Princess Bride or Blade Runner. Literally seen over 100 times. The Thing, Aliens. So yeah. I can't say anything.
It's kind of like the same thing as like we listen to the same song over and over again. You get hooked on a song or a certain album, and you just like, that's all you listen to for a couple days or a week, whatever. Yeah.
That's another thing I've been trying to avoid as well. I used to do that a lot, particularly like through my 20s. That was the big thing, is one album, I'd listen to it like twice a day for like a month. I've tried not to binge albums anymore. I'll spread them out a little bit, but I'm not always great about it. Like, I think in like the past 3 weeks, I've probably listened to one album in particular, Soul Mining by the. I don't know if it's the whatever. It's the word the twice is the band. I've listened to their album Soul Mining probably like 4 times in the past 2 weeks, so not great with it still. I have seen 13 going on 30 76 times. I don't even know if I've seen that one. Is that the one with Jennifer Garner?
I think
remember
so,
the
yes.
posters. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I've seen for chick flicks or romantic comedies, a good old rom-com. I will say I've seen When Harry Met Sally quite a few times. Maybe about 10. Not a ridiculous number, but it's a good movie. It's a damn good movie.
Oh, man.
Let's see. I've re-listened to the Stormlight Archives entire series at least 3 times. The first 2 I've listened to 8 times each. Wow, that is a lot. I don't even know how to say these words.
Did I listen to Helvetios by Elevati? No, I have not yet. Because I've gotten hooked on Airborne and Tom McDonald's new song. And then before that, I was hooked on something else. Yeah. Trust me, it's still on the list, though, man. It's still on the list.
I tend to go through like periods where I'll focus more on certain genres.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I kind of do.
Yes, for
like,
sure.
I'll have like a 3 to 6 month period where I'll really dive into like post-punk, and then another 3 to 6 months period where I'll dive really deep into like, art rock and listen to a bunch of like David Bowie and Talking Heads and Roxy music.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll have what she's having. Yeah, see, Shellback likes it. When Harry Met Sally's a great movie. It's hilarious. Yes. You had another one you suggested. I think that is the strangest confluence of words that just popped up on my Google. Okay, I was trying to search. Let's see. Oh, open, new tab, drag, drop. No, drag and drop. There we go. There we go. Stranger Things. I was trying to search that. Oh, sorry.
Really loved the first 3 seasons, and then I got way behind, which is sad. Like, I'm far behind, guys.
There's only 4 seasons.
What? There's only 4? I thought there's 5.
Only 4.
Okay, I'm not that far behind. But yeah, I've heard really good things about season 4, surprisingly. So, yep. But I can't say much. It was such a weird show. It's a very weird concept, that show. Let's be honest, it's super, super weird. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything about it's got this alien war. It's super weird. Alien type world with mind control stuff, and it's creepy, it's weird. But it also could have gone so easily woke. But if they did that, they would lose the coolness that was its weirdness. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can, for this show, what it is, you can't fit woke into it. There's no room for that. There's no room for just a show about high schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
And their day-to-day life. And not be boring.
Yeah, then you're just watching, you're watching Saved by the Bell at that point in time.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would turn into.
Mm-hmm.
Where would they put wokeness into this? I don't know. Maybe they did in the 4th season.
There's... I'm trying to remember exactly, because I binged it. This has been one of my... That was one of my... It's tradition at this point in time for me to binge Stranger Things when it first comes out. I loved the first season. I'm going to be that hipster and say I was actually mildly ahead of the curve on Stranger Things the night it hit Netflix, because that was when Netflix would drop a new show in my time zone at like 11:30 at night.
Oh, okay.
Is when the new ones would pop out. I guess they would set it there so that whenever people woke up in the morning, it would be readily available to them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, season one, when that first dropped, I was up flipping through Netflix, and as soon as I turned it on, Stranger Things popped up. I was like, huh, this looks interesting. I gave it a try. Episode one, completely hooked. I loved it. Binged the entire first season. I even brought headphones to work, and in the office, right in front of my boss, if I didn't actively have a customer in front of me, that I would stop everything and get up and help and take care of what I needed to take care of. But other than that, I had the headphones in and was watching Stranger Things at work.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is some serious binging.
Yes, I binged the heck out of it, and it's basically become a tradition for me to binge it, even though I kind of don't like the subsequent seasons after season one. Uh, season two, I feel, got a bit of a bad rap early on. I also trashed season two when it first came out, but having rewatched it, I think it is a bit stronger than I gave it credit for. Just in my personal opinion, it's not as strong as season one.
Gotcha.
And I think that was the problem. Is I loved it was a slowly paced, slow build up for a high payoff, more dramatic psychological show.
Yep.
And I loved that about it, and I loved the structure of it and how each episode felt, and the music. I mean, there's some great songs in that season that I absolutely love. Some of them were 80s nostalgia bait, like Africa by Toto, bit of 80s nostalgia bait, but it fit that scene really well. So I'll give it a pass. But also thrown in things out there that like people wouldn't expect, like Nocturnal Me by Echo and the Bunnymen, which is, I love Echo and the Bunnymen, so I'm like, whoa, they're throwing that song in? They didn't go with one of their more popular ones? Or instead of David Bowie's Heroes, they did Peter Gabriel's version of Heroes, and it worked perfectly in that scene. But I do admit season two has some of its warts. Season three, I started getting into, and then they completely ripped me out of I was like getting invested into it finally, because I wasn't liking it at first. And then they ripped me out with the never ending story scene. I could not stand it. Also, the whole Russians being able to build like an underground mall and everything, it seemed unreasonable to me.
True.
I didn't like that direction. Season 4, though, which if you haven't seen yet, I'd say is better than season 3, in my opinion.
Impressive. It's impressive when a show gets better in later seasons, because they either get worse or they stay the same.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I will say is, despite the fact that it's a song that I really like, I was sick and friggin' tired of hearing Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush by the end of the season. Love that song. Great song. Was tired of hearing, especially since everyone was using it in their like Instagram reels. It was everywhere. Like you'd flip a reel and you just hear that. It's another one. Quick way to make me not watch your Instagram reel.
Yep.
Ouch. Yeah, so if you haven't seen season 4 yet, I would say if you're this invested in it already, go ahead and finish it up.
Well, then I will. At some point. I just don't know when people watch all the things they watch. How do you watch everything and read everything? Make videos.
I sleep 4 to 5 hours a night.
Yeah, I need like 7 to 8. So
I'd wake up feeling groggy.
Oh man, I wake up feeling groggy if I don't get that much sleep. I need my sleep.
Mm-hmm. Duck Dangerously agrees that season 4 was better than 2 and 3. Nowhere close to 1. We're kind of on the same page there. Okay, I get why they were using it, Shellback. No major spoilers in here. So thank you everyone for not throwing out major spoilers, but you're gonna get a few hints at things. There are also things that have been talked about online a lot. So let's see. Uh I actually have an unpopular opinion about that scene, Firefox. I hated it. That was actually my least favorite part of season 4 was that scene. It felt way too over the top for me. It just felt like they were doing a heavy metal version of what they did at the end of season 3 with the Never Ending Story song, which I also hated. So, just my personal opinion. And I know it's unpopular. I know most people disagree with me. That was a very popular, very well liked portion of it. So I'm not saying you're wrong, just saying I didn't like it. Can function on 3 to feel great. To feel great, Firefox needs 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
Wow.
Oof. But Firefox did bring up one. Did that for Daredevil season 1. Stayed up all night watching the first 6 episodes. Went to work hungover and sleep deprived, and watched the last 6 while at work. I'm actually gonna one up that with my Stranger Things. I didn't sleep. I stayed up all night and watched them, and then got to work and finished like the last 2 episodes.
You crazy people.
Yep.
You crazy people.
I was in my 20s at the time. I could get away with that.
Okay. Yeah.
So it wasn't the worst. But he brings up Daredevil, which go ahead and bring up an image for Daredevil Netflix. You know what? We'll bring up that one. There we go. Zoom in. Enhance. There we go. Netflix's Daredevil. Actually an excellent show. I'm not even a big Marvel, as I've said multiple times. I'm not a big MCU fan. The movies have to legitimately be good for me to, a good movie on its own without being the fact that it's a comic book movie, because they're just not my thing. I get why people like them. They're just not my thing. But there are some that I thought have been great. And as far as Marvel television shows, I think that Daredevil is the pinnacle. It is the best Marvel TV show out there. Way better than any of the Disney Plus ones. Netflix's Daredevil, number 1. Great show on its own. It could not have the Marvel label. It could have nothing to do with the rest of the Marvel universe, and by itself be an excellent show.
So, impressive.
Yes, I highly recommend it.
Oh my gosh. No. Sorry. I'm on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that's Twitter.
Did you see it?
No. What happened?
I'm the bird lady in Home Alone 2.
Man, I see it. All right, hang on. This is...
Oh my gosh.
All right, we're doing this live.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Yikes.
Uh-oh. Yeah, bird ladied. Oh, man. Yeah, they kind of... You got roasted on that one, man.
I did get roasted. That was good.
Who put that out there? Brian. Nice. Oh, you're Bommy. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Good one, you're Bommy.
Yeah.
Bag Lady Megan.
Bag Lady.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. That was good.
But yeah, Daredevil just it has good mix of action, drama, character building. Matt Murdock, the main character, like we were saying before with Cobra Kai, he's flawed. He's a flawed hero. Also is trying to stick to a very strong religious moral compass. He's very Catholic, and so he's trying to, actively fight crime in the city without pushing beyond his moral prescriptions, and occasionally grappling with those very tightly and having to deal with other people that he might be teaming up with that do not agree with his moral compass, and having to sort of control them in his own way or accepting other people's flaws and faults and getting other people to accept his own. Solid show overall. Loved it.
So
Have you seen it?
Daredevil?
Yes.
I think I started the first episode and then I got distracted. Not that it was like not good. I just like I need to start it. I don't know what's happening, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard good things about that, especially for a comic book TV show, which you don't hear good things about. So, I usually avoid all that. Movies and TV shows of comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get so I've started with comic books, so I get so very like emotionally attached to the characters in the comic book and the storyline in the like just to me they are who they are like in the comic book. That's who they are. So if it doesn't line up enough in a movie or a show, I'm
Kind of like when we watched the Conan movie here, which
yes.
I had even said I tried not to couch it too much before you watched it, but I knew that movie Conan is not the same as book or comic Conan, and that's that's why I understand why you didn't like it.
Yep. Because I was emotionally attached to the comic book character,
Mm-hmm. And he's very different. The one thing the movie really fails on is Conan's philosophy and how he goes, and how that affects all of his decisions of what is commonly referred to as the noble barbarian.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, it's an anti-commie, anti-hippie movie, is what it really is. And that was not Robert E. Howard's philosophy for that character.
Oh, Duck dangerously brings up Lock and Key. Yes.
Lock and Key? I don't think I've
that was
seen that
it's
one.
on Netflix and I watched the first season, loved it. Second season just downhill real fast. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of shows have been like that. For me, The Boys. I liked season 1 of The Boys, even though I think it was given more praise than it deserved. Because I watched it and then I watched it a second time and saw more of the flaws in it. It has shock value that hits well the first time, but doesn't stand up, in my opinion, to repeated viewings. But season 2, I think before I was even done with the second episode, I completely signed off of the show. They went full preach mode, and I couldn't stand it. But had a couple of Daredevil comments here. Wanted to address. Yes, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, amazing. He did a wonderful job as that character. Firefox liked season 1 and 2. Thought season 3 was meh. I actually really liked season 3, even though I didn't watch what was it, The Defenders, which the season 1 and 2 take place before the Defenders show, and then season 3 takes place after it. So there's a whole chunk of storyline I was missing, and I kind of had to Google some things to fill it in because I just wasn't interested in watching that other show. But I actually liked season 3 a lot. I think it got back into more of the personal, introspective, moral questions and ethical questions for Matt Murdock as a character, especially with him, minor spoilers, with him essentially losing his faith and having to move forward as a very religious Catholic person who has lost his faith. Don't know about She-Hulk Daredevil. I refuse to watch that show. I hear they fucked him over bad, though. I hear they treated him very poorly, which does not give me hope to season 4 of Daredevil coming out on Disney+. I'll just pretend it doesn't exist. Oh, and that's where we get the bag lady Megan.
She was actually a really sweet character.
What is that from? I'm remembering it, but I'm
Home Alone 2.
Home Alone.
He gets
Okay,
lost in
that's
New
it.
York.
That's it. Yeah, the one with Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he's very briefly in the movie, but yeah. Yeah, I've only seen the Home Alone movies maybe once or twice in my life, and that
I
was
like
like
the
in the
first two,
90s.
and then I'm kind of done.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they switch it over to a different kid?
I think they did eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened though.
Yeah, I think it was, having to remember back to like movie posters from when I was a kid, but I want to say it was the first two were
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin. Um, oh, and then a couple of the other actors. And you know what? I think that's what makes Daredevil so strong is they have it's a solid cast. All of the actors who are in it do excellent jobs in the characters that they are playing. Really just about everyone. I'm not super big into John Bernthal as Punisher. Not that I think he was a bad fit for the character. My issue is that John Bernthal plays John Bernthal. And after you see a couple of shows and movies with him in it, and it's like, oh, he just plays the same character all the time, and it's basically himself. I get tired of it a bit. Although I thought he was great in season 2 of Daredevil. I thought he did a good job there. I just couldn't get into the Punisher show itself, mostly. And Scott Glenn, who is another great actor. You don't see, I think another underrated actor, has had some really good roles out there, but didn't get picked for leading characters too often back in the day. Let's see. And there's Robert agreeing with you. I get pissed about bad adaptations. So I can agree. I can see that. Oh, yes, Frank Frazetta Conan.
Yeah.
Have you looked into those? The Frank Frazetta's Conan art?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've had a lot of people tell me about them, so I did look into that, yes.
Bit of Frank Frazetta trivia, if you didn't know. He actually would model for his own paintings because he wanted to get the dimensions of the poses just right.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to model for Conan, he actually got freaking jacked. So yeah, he was actually this like really muscular, athletic dude who was also an excellent painter, but he did that specifically so that he could model for his own Conan paintings.
That's interesting. Huh.
Let's see. Anthony Starr as Homelander was brilliant. Firefox hated Lock and Key season 1. The writing seems so bad. IMO. I liked I remember thinking, did the kid get a lobotomy before moving into the house? Damn. That's yelling at my screen. Are you fucking stupid or what's wrong with you?
Fire feels very strongly about Lock and Key.
Hey,
it's
man.
not the best written show, but like you want an easygoing show to watch. The first season was not woke. That's all I gotta say. Ryan Rodriguez is here.
Yes, I was just about to bring his up. Ryan, thank you for joining us. I do feel like that's another thing, and I understand why people defend shows that just aren't woke, and I think it's not a bad thing per se to defend a show for not pushing forth the message. But I do feel like it's kind of become its own category of movies that and TV shows that get praise simply for not being woke, and I don't know if all of them deserve it.
Probably not. But like people are so starved for entertainment that doesn't have a specific agenda that it kind of happens. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I get it, but for me personally, I'll just rewatch something else that either came out a long time ago or some of these recommendations. Let's see. Did you have another one?
I was just Enola Holmes. Did anybody watch that movie with Henry Cavill in it? He was Sherlock, but it was more about his like sister. It wasn't bad. I need to watch it again. There's like an Enola Holmes 2 coming out. I remember enjoying it. And they equally had, like, she was obviously the main character, but he played a very large part. And I feel like they, as actors, had like a very good what is that called?
Chemistry.
Chemistry, yes. Like there was definitely that sibling type chemistry there. I thought they did a really good. I just enjoyed it. It was just pretty easygoing, fun movie. Nothing really deep to it. It was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just fun. It's got some
Sorry.
really great actors in there.
You know what? I
Recognizable
will
people.
say Henry Cavill, I think, deserves more.
Oh,
Uh,
heck
he,
yes, he
he
does.
definitely deserves more these days. I think it's horrible what's
Yes.
happening with The Witcher and everything. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so just an average fun show, I can get behind defending those. Like I even have on my list here, probably won't get to it, but I even wrote down Reacher, which in my opinion was an all right show. It was average. Out of 5 Firefucks, I would give Reacher a 3. It's average. I enjoyed it. Didn't knock my socks off, didn't break down any barriers or anything like that, but it was fun and I didn't hate myself after watching it.
Uh-huh. That's probably where I'd put like Enola Holmes. At like a three and a
Mm.
half. You know?
Yes, the dreaded 3.5 out of 5.
Ah. Well, there's somebody said something up here I wanted to. No, maybe not. I thought somebody said something. Maybe not. Maybe I had. Oh, Yellowstone. It was Achilles Jones. Thank
Mm.
you. Yes. I'm not caught up on Yellowstone though.
Mm. But it is good. I've been wanting to watch it.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
That first episode, on the first season, man, that was
Mm.
whoa. They just threw you right in there. Woo. But yeah,
Mm.
it was a very intense show.
That's what I
Um,
like. I like intense shows.
it can be very intense. They'll randomly have like an episode that feels more like a filler
Mm-hmm.
episode. You kind of just have a breather. But Yellowstone, as Shellback says, Yellowstone is awesome. I have not. I think the new season is out now, right?
They're
First
up to
episode of the
4.
newest season, or
I
the
don't know how new that is.
season 5 coming soon. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. No, that's
Um.
an excellent show.
Mm-hmm.
You should watch Yellowstone.
Here, let me pull up an image for it. Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. Um, I just haven't gotten around to watching it, unfortunately. I think Kevin Costner is one of those actors. He's either really good in a role or he's just kind of there, unfortunately.
This one,
Um, this one's
it was
good.
like made
Yeah.
for him.
Okay. I mean, he's had some excellent ones in the past. I will definitely say the director. Um, I can't remember his name, but I can't remember if he's the director or the showrunner. It's Taylor something. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he directed another movie that I did write down for modern movies that don't suck, Wind
Ooh.
River, and I really loved Wind River. It's a tough movie to watch at times. It's certainly not a happy-go-lucky film, but I enjoyed the heck out of Wind River, even with Elizabeth Olsen, who I don't think is that good of an actress, at least for any of the other roles I've seen her in. She never knocked my socks off as Scarlet Witch, in my opinion. She was just always kind of there. Oh, thank you, Shellback. Taylor Sheridan. I believe he's the showrunner for Yellowstone, and he directed Wind River. I loved that movie. I've watched it a couple of times. I only discovered it a few months ago and loved it. I've watched it 3 times since I've seen it.
I haven't seen it. I guess I need to see it.
It's heavy. I agree with your Bommy here. It is heavy. Sort of similar subject matter from what I understand. It's about a murder on an Indian reservation. Jeremy Renner, the guy who played Hawkeye in the Marvel movies, he is a wildlife hunter, essentially. He'll go in and kill predators on the Native American land.
Yeah.
And he finds the body, calls in the police, who have to report it to the FBI, and it basically exposes a lot of the horrible situations that our government has put the Native Americans into through the I can't remember the name of the act, but it essentially created a socialist system controlled by our government for Native Americans that they're basically at the mercy of the federal government on the reservations, and actually getting products like trade for them is very difficult, with the exception of things that can be contained to the reservations. That's why you have casinos and the like happening there, because there's no goods passing back and forth. But yeah, it exposes a lot of the real damages that our government has done to them. Honestly, like from seeing that and a bit of research I've done, and in particular, his name flew right out of my head. Sean Malone over at the Foundation for Economic Education did an episode on his series Out of Frame about Wind River, that he really gets into the detail of the history of really the atrocities that our government has committed to the Native Americans that nobody talks about because they're happening now.
Yeah.
Like the fact that in some of these areas, their only access to food, if they aren't able to grow it themselves, is a government-run food depot that they might have to drive up to 2 hours away to get to. The police department in the movie is like 10 guys covering a portion of land the size of New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of drug abuse and, all sorts of stuff like that. Not a lot of economic opportunity in these zones either, because we've basically created them as a separate zone, and businesses can only do so much to get permits to build a business on this land, to have enterprise on this land. But yes. Let's see. Natalie from Yellowstone is also in Wind River. Okay. Got a DVD 3-pack, Sicario, Wind River, and Hell or High Water, all Taylor Sheridan creations. I might have to check those out too.
Ooh.
I've heard about Sicario. No, I agree with you, Robert. Elizabeth Olsen was good in Wind River. I think she's normally not a good actress. I didn't like her as Scarlet Witch. I thought she actually did a really good job of that, doing it's not even like the strong female character, just a believable female character, and that she's, trying to, she's the rookie FBI agent who gets sent in to deal with the situation, and she's the only person who gets sent to help them, essentially. And I thought she did a good job of being, still wet behind the ears, still green to the whole, what goes on in the FBI, while playing a believable and strong character.
I haven't seen any of those.
I've only seen the one, Wind River.
Are the other ones like as heavy as that then? Or is all his stuff pretty heavy and intense, I'm assuming?
I think it is. I think
that just might be his
thing.
Like style.
Hey, if you're good at it, you're good at it, and lean into it, especially if you're still, fairly young and have a long career ahead of you, lean into it. Let's see. Sicario is also pretty heavy.
Okay.
Well, I kind of covered Wind River there.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything else about Yellowstone?
No. That was good that whoever brought that up. That was awesome. I completely forgot about it. So thank you.
Yeah, I was just looking at it last night, in fact.
Yeah. You should start it when you get a chance. It is good.
It's next on my list. After the wife and I finish Orville New Horizons, this is going to be our next watch. And like I said, we've been trying not to binge the shows. We'll usually do one episode a night, stretch it out a bit, sometimes even take a few days of a break. We did that instead of binging Battlestar Galactica, the remake that came out in 2003. And I have to say, it actually improved the experience from the first time I watched it, like, I don't know, 12 years ago, where I binged the whole thing.
I think your brain just like is too much to process, and it just all like,
especially on the heavier shows, on
yeah,
anything that you've got to sit down and think about afterwards and have like a discussion and talk about the moral conundrum in the episode. Yeah. Which Battlestar Galactica was definitely big in. Let's see. The counterpart with J.K. Simmons is interesting. I'll have a quick mention for another show that J.K. Simmons was part of. That I put on my list, Invincible. I actually really liked it. Once again, not a big comic book guy. I liked Invincible.
What's Invincible?
It's an animated show it's basically an adult cartoon on Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Yep. It's think of the son of Superman as a late bloomer with his powers, and he goes out and starts fighting crime, but doesn't really know how to control any of his just budding powers in his late teens.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it gets gory and violent and has good moral questions in there and flawed characters and all of the stuff we've been talking about all night. It was a good show. I enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's about time to wrap this up.
I didn't have anything else. I came in with like 4 things, and then that's it.
I'll throw some honorable mentions in there. A couple other things I wrote down. The Outsider, which is on HBO Max. It's a Stephen King miniseries based off of, I'm assuming, a book he wrote called The Outsider that I haven't read. But that was actually a really good, really enjoyable show. Does get a bit heavy at times, but not super deep. Oh, you know what? Firefucks. You are 100% on point with this. Nobody with Odenkirk, Bob Odenkirk. Nobody kind of snuck out of left field on me. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. I've watched that several times since I first saw it. It's kind of it's a parody of John Wick without being too heavy on the parody side. So, soft parody. But I really like that one. And the other honorable mention I have on here is Joker, the one with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes. Man, all the things I forget about.
Yeah, that was really good. And I'd say for the other DC movie I saw recently that wasn't bad, I could say was an okay movie. What am I thinking? Suicide Squad, the more recent one that I think James Gunn directed. It felt like a James Gunn film.
I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that one? Oh, I actually liked it with Idris Elba in it. Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was rated R Guardians of the Galaxy. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was better. One of the few Marvel movies that I really enjoyed and will watch multiple times into the future. Not as good, but that's basically what it is. Had a lot of penises. Yeah, it did actually.
Oh, man.
One-off movies are what DC should concentrate on. Yeah, most of those have actually been better.
Yep.
And one I skipped for a long time that I actually liked. It's not modern at this point in time. Came out a while ago, but I did actually enjoy the Wonder Woman movie. I thought it was good.
I always wondered about that.
It's not great or anything, but I enjoyed it. Like, I certainly don't regret watching it.
Not something you like really would see again, but like,
not really. if it was on, if somebody else really wanted to watch it, I would. I'll just say I enjoyed my first watch through of it. I normally don't like Chris Pine. That's another one with an actor I normally don't like. I thought he did a pretty good job.
There we go.
I'll say my opinion of Chris Pine is also tainted by the new Star Trek movies, which I hate. Can't stand them. But yeah, I think that's all we got for tonight. Megan, why don't you let everybody know what you got going on?
Oh boy. Okay, so tomorrow at 12 Central, I have a celebration live stream because I have 900 subs. Don't make me that big. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
No, it's happening.
I have I have pen on my fingers. Look.
Oh, yep.
Let's thing. Oh yeah, live stream tomorrow,
Stream.
12 p.m. Central Time. I have a few guests. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. It's not been planned out. I have an independent comic book review, actually a whole series, premiering on Sunday, also at 12. And then Mondays, Manga Mondays again. I feel like I just did Manga Mondays, but it's happening again. So yeah, that's where I am. Oh, and Weebs and Waifu stuff comes back normally Monday. I think Monday, but definitely this next Thursday coming up. Well, that's all for me.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, congratulations on hitting 900, by the way. That's awesome. Yeah, you've really, over the past few months, you've been having some solid, steady growth.
Yeah, I'm more just worried about watch hours, but live streams definitely help. And when I started out, I wasn't doing live streams because I was a little scaredy cat about that, but yeah.
I'll say I don't always get too much of a chance to hop into them, but all the ones I've seen,
I forgot.
they do well. Yeah.
Thank you. Fire says, because I forgot, thank you, Fire. We're doing a Serenade Sunday this Sunday. Yes, a drumming stream with Ivan on Sunday. Be there. Because once those, he did one that it's actually still up, but usually he does those, and as soon as they're done, you can't see them again. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot be rewatched.
Huh, private some. I've noticed a lot of people do that. They'll private the stream right after it's done.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure why he does this one, but actually, no, I know why he does it. He does it so that he doesn't have to fool around with any copyright stuff.
Yeah, disputing copyright claims and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can't blame him there. I'm brain farting. I thought I had something to say, but I guess I didn't. It wasn't that important.
What are you up to?
I am up to, obviously doing this on Fridays. Oh, I should mention next week's movie. We do have that planned. It is going to be Megan's. It was your choice in this one, so
Sweeney Todd.
I kind of forgot.
I almost forgot too. We're both sitting here like.
I was gonna say it, but I was at the moment, I was like, it's leaving my brain. I'm passing it to Megan.
Oh boy.
But yes, Sweeney Todd. So first musical for us.
First musical. I figured this was a good first musical for Steven because he said he doesn't really like musicals, but it's kind of it's kind of slasher. It's dark, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to say it.
I already owned it, so I have seen it. I did enjoy it the first time, so it's not something I'm dreading watching. I'm just picky about my musicals. I think that's what it is.
I have a whole list of musicals, Steven.
hey, look, it's your choice. I'm going to come down and sit and watch it, and I'm going to put as much effort towards movies that I don't think I'll enjoy going into initially. So I will have an open mind for all of these.
There you go.
Yeah, go ahead, pick any musical you want. I will watch it.
Okay.
Firefox saying Oklahoma,
Oh, yeah,
best
Oklahoma.
musical. Never seen it actually.
Duck
Never
dangerously.
seen it. Makes us watch Carousel. I'm out. I'm not even familiar with that one.
I really want to make y'all watch Newsies, but I think I need to watch that again and see if it's actually any good. It's about a bunch of newsboys in New York, like the boys that sell the newspapers. And it's basically like they're just under, there's no child labor laws, right? So they like go on strike, but it's a musical. Ugh, I love it. Anyway. See, Fire knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, Newsies is decent. Okay, well, hey, like I said,
Christian Bale. Yeah, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Okay, I'll say Christian Bale.
Oh, and of course, Grease. He's back. Yes.
Oh, in Grease, yes.
Ooh,
also,
Footloose?
never seen it.
Well, that's not really a musical. It's more like
not
a
really
dance
musical,
movie.
Yeah, it's good. I do like Footloose. You know what? The Muppet movies, most of them at least, are musicals. So, and I love the Muppet movies.
I love the Muppet movies.
Yes. So I'll throw those out there for technically musicals. There are other ones that I've liked over the years. Guys and Dolls. That's a classic. Like that one.
Singing in the Rain?
I've actually never seen that one. Never seen it. I know the song, but never seen the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Just went past me. I'll say West Side Story. Like, it's not a bad movie. It was never really my thing, though.
I never actually cared for West Side Story. People are always crazy about it, and I was like, eh.
It's Romeo and Juliet. It's
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sound of Music, man, fire.
Okay.
Sound of Music and Mary Poppins. Growing up, my siblings hated me because that's all I ever wanted to watch.
Yep. I wore out the tape for Sound of Music growing up, and what's weird is like my mom tells me this now that I'm older, like, oh yeah, you watched that movie so many times, you wore out the tape. But I don't remember it. I remember some of the songs, but I can't visualize watching the movie. I don't remember the scenes from the movie, but I know some of the songs. I was also in choir. So when in elementary and middle school, I was in choir. So we do a lot of the songs from Sound of Music.
Yeah.
And Moulin Rouge.
I did like that one. It's fairly good.
Lonely Goat Herd. I think you're just making up words here, Firefox. That's what's going on. But yeah, what I have going on. That's what we were talking about.
Yes, what Steven has going on.
Sunday, you can find me over on Ord's World, his second channel for the Sunday morning podcast. Usually joined by Snowdub and occasionally joined by Tom Collins Jr. of Midnight's Edge After Dark. And then Tuesdays, you can find me over on Supreme Heretics channel for United Resistance, where we go over current political topics. We'll probably be talking about the outcomes of the midterm election there. So that's my guess. Never know with Drew. He might have 5 topics he wants to get to, and we'll get to 3 of them because most of us get on a roll and just start yakking and telling jokes while Drew tries to keep us on course. But yeah, so everybody out there, have an excellent rest of your weekend. And thank you for joining us for setting off on your weekend journey. At least for people who don't have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Do you work tomorrow? I don't have to work tomorrow.
No, I have tomorrow off.
There you go.
Yep. But next Saturday I work. So it's not, I don't get them all off.
Bummer.
Yeah, it sucks occasionally. But yeah, got to make the money. But all right. Bye, everybody.
See y'all.
No. He's looking at you, kid.
Goodbye, Boo.
Kitty.
Kitty has to go.
I'll see you. Not if I see you first.
Shalom.
Grandpa? Maybe you could come over and read it again to me tomorrow.
As you wish.